dreams come true.
Hi there, my name is Gabby and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share 5 tips on how to make reading more of a daily habit. So we all know that reading is an awesome and productive activity to do as it helps us learn and grow, and let's be honest, there's nothing like the totally amazing feeling of being completely absorbed and interested in something that we're reading. However, many of us lead very busy lives and we might not feel like we have the time, the energy, or the motivation to really set reading as part of a daily habit. Tip number 1 is to find the right reading material. So it's important to note that reading can take many different forms. There are books, articles, ebooks, magazines, audiobooks. So when finding the right material, try to consider that there are many different forms and topics to read from. And when we're trying to make reading a daily habit, it's very important to know what we're reading and be interested on what we're reading about. If you think you are someone who does not enjoy reading, consider J.K. Rowling's quote, "If you don't like to read, then you haven't found the right book." Don't always feel pressure to read bestsellers. Just because everybody else is reading a book does not mean that you will necessarily enjoy it. So don't be afraid to read books that you maybe haven't heard about anywhere else, or that are not as well known, because those are often the books that you end up really enjoying. Number 2 is to give material a chance, but don't be afraid to call it quits. Sometimes, even once we found material that seems very interesting and very engaging, we find ourselves not as absorbed in the book as we maybe thought we would be. And this can be extremely unmotivating and leave us feeling like we're maybe wasting our time with the book. And I know this feeling very well. And so I am of the philosophy of really try to give your book a chance, or whatever material you're reading. Sometimes the author just needs a little bit of time to, set things up or explain certain things, and that might be a little bit dry or not as interesting at first. And sometimes we just find ourselves reading different materials that we really shouldn't be reading. We're not in the right mood or mindset to be reading certain things. And so this is why I strongly encourage you to not be afraid to just call it quits. Some people like to really stick it out with books, and they think that that's the way to go, but I really think that if you aren't enjoying or you're not finding any fulfillment with what you're reading, it's very important to just stop, because that can make you feel very unmotivated and feeling unproductive. Tip number 3 is to find your ideal reading time. So now that you know the importance of finding the right reading material, it's now important to establish a time every day when you know it's going to be time to really sit down and do some reading. So one of the biggest tips I could give to encourage you to read more on a daily basis would be to add a reading time to one of your pre-existing routines. Now this could be part of your morning routine. I often enjoy just waking up in the morning and then reading for 10 to 15 minutes right when I wake up. It's something that I really enjoy. I get to stay in bed a little bit longer. Some people really enjoy reading right before they go to bed. That's something that helps them wind down and get ready for the night. Some people enjoy reading on their way to work or in the bathtub, at the end of the day, or during breakfast. Whatever it is, just try to find a time in your day that is a specific and designated reading time. And it'll be much easier to incorporate that reading time into one of your pre-existing routines. So tip number 4 is to swap social media consumption with reading time. Now, I understand this is very much easier said than done, and I'm not saying to totally just quit social media and to just read all the time. What I'm saying is to be mindful with the time that you're spending scrolling on your phone, and think about if this is time that you could be spending getting ahead in your reading. It's often really easy to just pick up our phone and start scrolling when we have just a couple minutes to spare and we don't really know what to do. But if we switch our minds to free time equals time to read instead of time to go on our phones, you would be surprised with how much reading you can get done, because we often find ourselves with accumulating lots and lots of screen time. Every time you leave your house from now on, bring obviously everything you need, but also bring some sort of reading material. That way, when you're waiting at the doctor's office, when you're waiting for someone else, or commuting, or just have a spare moment in general, try to remember that you have your reading material with you and that it might be a better idea to read a little bit. So tip number 5 is to create your ideal reading environment. Now, I understand that you can't always control the environment. Try to make time when you're reading time that is very calm and very peaceful. Piece together a type of environment where you feel that you read your best, and to maybe also try different environments where to read. So try reading maybe outdoors, or try different rooms in your house to really see how different places make you feel while you read, because sometimes we find ourselves maybe distracted by other people or maybe our technology while we're reading, and so switching up the environment in which we're reading can really maybe help us focus on our reading. Those were my 5 tips on how to make reading more of a daily habit. If you have any reading tips or recommendations or ideas, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. I hope that you found some motivation or ideas from this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.